Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you. This is another episode of the JAMS Football Show with Kyle and Horace. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kyle Smith, alongside my buddy Horace Hawk. We both play on the Gladiators.
Do people not know that by now?
Some might be unaware, but some. Hey, listen, there could be people that are just tuning in for the first time. So.
All right, fair enough. Let's get started.
Okay.
So want to lead us into it?
Let's go right to the power rankings, sir.
All right. So
screen share.
Go
ahead, Horace. Say what you got to say.
All right. So once again, you have Swag on top with Spartan second. I'm still sticking with Spartans number one. I mean, we play Swag tonight, so I guess we'll see how they both fare against us. So
I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, part of me is wondering, okay, listen, is my game, me playing against both of them, is that really the best determinant of who's better? But, as of right now, what I've seen thus far, from what I've seen from watching games, from being at games, I've seen that Spike is the better team. I don't think it's by a great deal. I think it's relatively close, but I still think that they're the better team. And, maybe my perception of that will change once I play them tonight. That's kind of where I'm at.
Gun your head. If Swag and Spartans were to play tonight, what would be the final score and who wins?
It would be extremely close. I think Swag would win 13-7.
All right. Okay. I'd say it'd be a low-scoring one, but I'm not sure. I think I'd say Spartans to win, and I'd say I'll say 13-12.
13-12. How about that?
All right. So we both dropped the Knights this week. I guess actually you played them. I kind of had some alarm issues. So I woke up for Fudger, thought I had another hour and a half to sleep. That didn't work out. I ended up sleeping till 10 that day.
You certainly had another hour and a half to sleep.
So
Horace, you didn't show up. Actually, we started the game off with 10 guys, and we ended up finishing the game with 12 guys. And we came there. My brother and I came a little late because of some work stuff. We have work Sunday morning, and it was 6-0 when we came, and it ended up being 6-6. Very close game. Much respect to them. As you've said, one of the most physical teams, extremely physical line. Mm-hmm. Quarterback who's got a tremendous amount of talent. He likes to throw outside the pocket. Don't know how comfortable he is inside of the pocket. Nonetheless, it's a very, very good team. They've shown that all season. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that they're better than Union. I think Union puts up more offensive production than do the Knights.
I think we agree there that I guess since we both put the Union on top of them. At the same time, Union did just tie with the Hurricanes. But yeah, it was more of a marquee matchup. It was just one of those old-fashioned games where it's a classic rivalry, honestly. So
yeah, I mean, we were talking last week about how, if this is any game that Hurricanes has to get up for, I mean, they do have a relatively older team, people who have kids and, whatnot. And granted, a lot of teams do. But it seems like they've had attendance issues all year. And I think some of their guys on the forums, for example, Darren Garcia, have, alluded to that same exact point, that they have had attendance issues. And you just feel like if this is the one game where they could get everyone to kind of show up, that would be the game. Because there's been – how many championship finals has it been Union versus Hurricanes?
I think there's been 3 between the two.
3 between the two of them?
I'm not entirely sure. I might just be making it up. So
I'm not sure either. If someone knows, hey, let us know in the forums. But, yeah, nonetheless, Hurricanes, they are a better team. I know that they've lost to VS and dropped a couple other games that you thought they really should have won. But at the end of the day, they could still beat the best of them in this league, and they went out and showed that last week, and therefore we have moved them up as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what's going on with Dime City? How do you feel about that?
Dime City actually had a bye this past week, if I'm not mistaken.
Did we punish them for having a bye, actually?
Sorry?
Did we punish them for having a bye? I don't remember where I put them last week, but I feel like I had them a little bit higher.
No. We've had them in top 5. I think they've been at 5. Same exact thing last week. I mean, the top 4 really hasn't moved.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they've just been a little flip-flop between 1 and 2, at least for me, and then 3 and 4 this week.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we talked about tiers. You kind of lump those top 4 teams in maybe that top tier, and then Dime City's right in that second tier. we had
Yeah.
spoken about.
All right. So Dime City, we moved Boone up for sure, though. After, let's see, who they just beat.
Let's go to Boonton.
Oh yeah, okay. They beat VS. They put up a lot of points on them, which is pretty impressive. They put up 28 points, and only gave up 6.
VS is a team on the rise. I went and saw VS's roster. They played in the game right after us. You know, they had their best safety. I didn't see Dave there, but I noticed they also added a couple big linemen, guys that weren't actually there when we played them. Now, whether or not those guys are good, I can't really see, because I didn't see the entire game. But nonetheless, they surely added some beef. It takes time to gel and things, but nonetheless, it's safe to say that VS is a team on the rise. Just might be a little too late. They might have dug in themselves too big of a hole at this point.
I mean, like I said last week, I think 4 is the magic number to get to the playoffs. If you get 4 wins, I mean, right now they have 1 or 2.
They have 2 wins.
So,
they've beaten GPAC, and they've also beaten the Hurricanes.
Okay. Well, they have 2 more games left. This is their bye, I believe. So, yeah, it is their bye. So they have Dime City and Spartans. So it doesn't look favorable for them. But if they could somehow pull out a win, or if, say, Spartans retain the number 1 seed at the end of the season, they could possibly just lose on purpose to let VS in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, VS is actually playing this week. They're going against Dime City this week, which is a Sunday game, 8:30 in the morning. And I do believe that most of the guys from VS, they are more local. They are local to us, that is, Horace, more Central Jersey, closer to Torpy. So this is a North Arlington field. So they better field the full team for that early Sunday 8:30 game. Because, our game had started 9:45 this past week, so their game must have been like at 11. So kind of a big difference between 11 and 8:30. So VS better make sure that they got all the guys, because they're certainly going to need them. Dime City always fields a full squad, and this is a must-win for VS. When you talk about head-to-head games that they've lost, I mean, I guess they got Hurricanes there, but when you talk about point differential, if it happens to be a 3-way tie, that is really not working in their favor at all.
Yeah, like they have the second worst point differential. I mean, they won't become the worst team. Their GPAC is so far ahead on that. Just like looking at the numbers, it's not really appealing. Like VS is giving up 156. Their point differential is 86 or 89. That doesn't look as bad because they scored 67. GPAC, on the other hand, has only scored 2 touchdowns on the entire year. One of them was against us. But
who was the other one against?
I could look that up for you.
It wasn't even VS. I know
it was Boone Bounty Hunters.
Okay.
So they only scored 2 touchdowns, but they've given up 228 points.
Yeah.
Wow. So even if you double VS's point differential, and that would be negative in the negatives, GPAC still has a sizable lead on them.
You mean VS has a sizable lead?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so we've talked about Boonton. I don't think we talked about them enough, but they're definitely a team on the rise. Brandon, that quarterback, seems to be getting better and better every week. Put up 28 points against a VS team that's not great, but they are on the rise, as we said.
Hey, they're the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. Just if they get their defense right, they could be a dangerous playoff team.
No doubt about it.
They have that look of a dangerous playoff.
I mean, listen, you talk about the year that they went to the championship. They were a lower seed. They might have been 7th or 6th seed, something like that. They were down there, and they went on this big run, and literally they had the championship game right in their hands, and they just let it slip away.
Yeah.
So I mean, this has the recipe for that similar type of season. What made Boonton good, if you speak to the guys on their team, when they had a dominant line, and from what I've seen in recent weeks, it looks like their defensive line has certainly strengthened up. So, but we'll see. I don't know if it's as tough as that year that they went to the championship. Most notably, Nick Musap is not on their defensive line anymore. Okay, so Code Red, both you and I still have Code Red at 8, and we have Hurricanes at 7. I think the Hurricanes tie against the Union really boosts them up.
Statement game.
Have these 2 teams played one another, Hurricanes and Code Red?
I don't think so. Not yet. They might not even have to play each other.
Yeah, that will be the following
next
game.
week. Okay.
So that's going to go a long way in terms of playoff implications.
So,
but as of right now, I mean, listen, Code Red, they went and played their butts off. 6-0 loss to Swag is very, very respectable. Nonetheless, I mean, they did get shut out in the game. And Hurricanes, they did manage to score against Union, which is never an easy feat. They did do it, but it wasn't enough to win. I still like Hurricanes just a little bit more than Code Red. I haven't played against Hurricanes this year, so I don't really know their line situation. But as you said, Code Red, I think, has a lot of strengths. I don't know that offensive line is one of their strengths.
yeah, I think we both agree on that. That was the same problem they had last year. It doesn't seem like they really fixed that. So here we are, the bottom three. Once again, the same. It's been the same since like week 2 or week 3 or 4.
It's been the same for me since that long. You one week decided to bump VS up so high. I don't know. You're not so high, but you bumped them up a little bit.
I think I had GPAC over VS at one point too.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are certainly right about that. And I definitely disagreed with you there. So
so let's move on to our weekly pick 'em. This time, me and you actually prepared our picks. So how about you kick us off with the first game of the weekend?
Well, I think that I've usually been preparing my picks, at least the past couple weeks. I think this is something new for you, sir. All right, but we have Boonton Bounty Hunters, and they are squaring off against – let me just pull up their schedule right here. They're squaring up against the Knights. Now, obviously, I just played against the Knights, and I do have so much respect for them. I think maybe they're stagnating just a little bit over recent weeks. And as I said, I think Boonton is a team on the rise. And I don't – Brandon is a great player. I don't know if you could say he's a quarterback, but I think he's a better quarterback than the Knights quarterback for sure.
Okay. I mean,
and
they're both good athletes.
They're both very good athletes, and I think Brandon is better. And I also think Brandon has a better arm too, just from the limited action that I've seen. I cannot say that this. Listen, the guy on the Knights, I can't say that I've seen him play a lot, and I've never really played against Brandon as a quarterback. But just from the limited action that I've seen, I think Brandon is better, and I think that Boonton's going to win this one 7-6, very close game.
Oh wow, 7-6. All right. I do like this is one of those games where it's an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Like the Knights are really strong defensively, the Boonton Bounty Hunters are really strong offensively. Did I say that right? Either way, I'd have this game going towards the Knights. They win 12-6. I just think good defense is a lot better than like a potent offense in this league. I mean, we just came off a week where Swag only scored 6 points.
Won the championship last year.
Swag. But at the same time, the Union, I don't know, they just didn't look as amped up. Swag was completely focused that game.
Yep.
So,
all right. So let's go to our next game. Pull up the schedule.
Next game is us, but we're not going to pick that one. So, Dime City versus VS. Saturday game. Who you got?
I got Dime City in this one, and it's going to be a shutout. It's going to be 20-0. Dime City.
20-0. All right. I don't have a shutout. Excuse me. I don't have a shutout, but I do have something similar. I have Dime City putting up 19, but with VS putting up 6. So,
okay.
How about
similar? In Dime City score, we're just 1 point difference.
So, Spartans Union, who you got? Or should I leave this one?
So, believe it or not, Union is going to tie 2 weeks in a row. This time, 7-7.
That's interesting. 7-7. I mean, you're not counting on the Spartan 6, or is it Code Red 6? I don't remember.
Wait, say that again, Hars?
The Spartans tendency to score 6 points. Although the past 2 weeks, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting my teams confused.
We're thinking of Code Red. Code Red is the team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, regardless, you have the tie at 7-7 or 4.
I got 7-7 tie. It's going to be a low-scoring, hard-fought-out defensive game. I think Spartans has a good offense. Their strength is still their defense. We know Union can play great defense. and we know that Union has a good enough offense to put some points up on the board. They're not going to put up a lot because Spartans has a great defense. I think it's going to be 7-7. Both teams are very good at putting extra points up on the board, which is absolutely crucial in this game. Just think back to our game against Knights, which you weren't at, sir, but it was 6-6. And if either of us had just converted on that 1-point conversion, it's the difference between a tie and a win.
It's funny that you bring up the exploit conversions because I think that's what's going to be the difference in this game. I have Spartans winning 14-13, but I just feel like the Spartans the trench play is just a lot rougher than Union. Union just go with a 3-man line on defense, but the Spartans, I think every single person on that line could just take them one-on-one with no problem. So
I agree with you that overall the Spartans' defensive line is definitely stronger than Union's. But I think Union's is still solid.
Okay. Code Red GPAC. I'll start off this one. This is the last game of the weekend. I have Code Red winning 6-0.
6-0?
I feel like I kind of undersold Code Red here, so I think I'm going to change that to 12-0.
Okay. I got this one 27-0. I don't know which GPAC's deal as of late. Obviously Spartans are the much superior team. I wonder again if GPAC fielded a full team to lose 42-0 is, that's I mean, we've played on some really bad teams and we really lost bad a lot of times, but go back to previous years. I don't know that we lost worse than 28-0. I mean, there's just so limited time in games. I mean, literally you got to be scoring in 3-play drives all the time to put up that many points up in a game in this league. So I wonder if GPAC fielded a full team. And if not, I mean, I think that's, after losing 42-0, do you think they're going to get even better attendance this week?
So, I mean, sadly, 42 points isn't their season high of points allowed. They've given up 46 to the Canes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just looking at their schedule right now, the least amount of points GPAC has given up is 19. So that means they've still given up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think regardless, I don't see GPAC putting up any points in this game. I think we can agree to disagree on what Code Red score will be, but yeah, I don't see GPAC putting up any points for sure. Code Red has got a solid defense. I mean, they just limited Swag last week to 6 points. So anyway, Horace, any closing thoughts?
No, that's it for me.
Same here. Kept this one very short and sweet this week. Yeah, so, and we'll definitely have on a guest next week. We've gotten some requests. I actually have to inform you about some of those, Horace, which I will do off the air.
You want to tease them out?
Well, we might. Here's the only teaser that I'll give. We might have another show where we have several team members of another team, not just one person.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
See you next week, Kyle.
All right, Horace. I will. You're not going to see me next week. You're going to see me tonight, inshallah, God willing.
Really, in just 2 hours, but okay.
Yeah, about 3 hours.
That's the difference. All right, slow, man.
Walaikum salam. Take care, everyone.